Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Around, and today I'm talking about the new horror comedy, The Monkey, based on a story by Stephen King, produced by James Wan, and written and directed by Osgood Perkins of Longlegs fame. It's the trifecta, and it really shows. This is a movie that I wasn't expecting to be as funny as it is. It's as darkly hilarious as it is brutally gory and disturbing. I'm going to keep this review spoiler free. I might do a more in-depth spoiler review of the sort of greater themes and ideas, but I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out on this one without spoilers. So let's get into The Monkey.
It's a toy monkey?
It's evil. It's basically the devil.
Everybody dies. And that's life.
So we have twin brothers who kind of grow up with this creepy childhood toy, the monkey, which, fun fact, in the original short story by Stephen King, it's the classic monkey with the symbols. But because that toy was featured in Toy Story 3, Disney went ahead and apparently got a copyright for it. And that's why they had to change it to be the drum. But I think it kind of works better as the drum because when he's pounding away at it, it gives it like this creepy momentum. And then there's that dramatic moment where he drops the drumstick the last time, that has the finality to it that I think you wouldn't get as much with the cymbal. So I do think it's a happy accident. So we have this monkey that you twist it, it does its thing, and somebody dies in a weird, disturbing, incredibly over the top, almost Looney Tunes esque, but with the gore of a slasher movie method that feels like it's something out of Final Destination. And these deaths are probably the most, you gasp at how insane they are, but then you laugh at kind of how insane they are. And again, this is a movie that is as much a dark comedy as it is a horror movie. There's this kind of thread running through it. We all live with the inherent inevitability of death. And some of us choose to just not think about it, and some of us choose to kind of laugh at it. That's essentially been my coping mechanism. If there was an asteroid headed to Earth, which apparently there might be in a decade, I would probably be sharing asteroid memes right until the moment of impact, because that's just how I process, that's how I cope through humor. And I feel like similarly, the movie is taking the idea of the inevitability of death and how terrifying and unsettling that is, and making us just kind of laugh at it, because there's no other, that's the only correct way to process it. When the comedian in Watchmen realized how screwed everything was, ended it with basically, it's just all one big joke. And it kind of is. The cast is amazing, to put it lightly. You've got Theo James doing double duty as both versions of the twins. But even the supporting players, you've got Tatiana Maslany, you've got Elijah Wood, you've got Osgood Perkins himself in a kind of hilarious, tiny, small role. You've got Rohan Campbell, even like little bit parts played by actors that I don't know. Every single minor part, even if the character only has one scene, they own that scene and they feel like a fully fleshed out character. Like Osgood Perkins gave that character a whole backstory, and even though we, the audience, don't know it, that actor playing them does, and plays them like they know their character like that. For those gore freaks, myself included, I mean, it's buckets of blood splatter. That's really the only way to describe it. It's like, how in the I say more recent seasons of South Park, but I really mean starting in like the 2010s, and I realized that was 10 plus years ago, where they do like over the top gore, and that is the joke, and like it's so over the top it's funny. That's kind of what some of these deaths reminded me of, like just bodies exploding. And again, really strong comedic timing. There's a very, I don't want to call the movie nihilistic. There's a sarcasm to it that, like, whoa, well, of course this terrible thing happened. that kind of, again, makes us laugh at the darker parts of life and finds the humor in it. Again, trying to keep this as spoiler free as I can. I'll say this, we're not given much explanation for the monkey itself, and I like that we're not. This isn't a movie that's about like, "Oh, let's get into the origin." No, it's just the monkey is a conduit, and it sort of, in certain ways, brings out the darker parts of ourselves. This is a movie that I said in my 60-second out of theater reaction that it feels like it's an assault on all your senses, and I also mean on your funny bone. Like, it throws everything at you. By the end of it, I was kind of exhausted from watching it, but in a fun way. Like, that was a wild ride. It took me places I wasn't expecting to go. It's hilarious, it's gory, but it's incredibly well thought out down to every last little detail. There's a sort of, Longlegs had this almost hypnotic quality that drew you in, and if you look back at Longlegs, even that sort of has that awkward, dark sense of humor. The monkey is like Longlegs in that it equally draws you in, because the monkey itself, there's something inherently creepy about it, and especially that we don't know that much about it. Kind of like the mystery of it makes it intriguing, but it amps up that humor, but it never feels like the humor is at odds with the horror, like a certain recent Valentine's Day slasher that felt like two movies competing for attention from the audience. One romantic comedy, one slasher. The Monkey, the humor and the horror are perfectly intertwined and work brilliantly with each other. But hey, these are just my thoughts. This is just my review. I'd love to know what you thought of The Monkey. Let me know in the comments. What did you think? It was funny? What's your favorite death? Um, Spoilers if you read those comments. What other Stephen King stories would you like to see adapted? Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up stuck with a creepy monkey toy that ruins your entire life and existence. And as always, every day is Halloween.